chapter 3, the 4 pillars of the union. There is a place where the wind slows, as if unwilling to disturb the dust of centuries. It is here, beyond a narrow ridge of stone, that the temple of union rises from the earth like a memory too sacred to fade. I have walked this road more times than I can count, yet each time the sight still steals my breath. Not for its size, though it towers over the hills, but for the truth it holds. For love, like the temple, stands only when its foundations are strong, and I have seen too many built on sand. The mountain does not reveal this place to all who pass. The path is narrow, carved into the side of the cliff, with only a single archway of weathered stone to mark its beginning. Beyond it, the air grows heavier, the sound of the world fading, until there is nothing but the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat. The temple itself is not built in the way of men. Its stones are not quarried, but seem grown from the mountain itself, as though the earth chose to lift this form into being. At its gates stand 4 great pillars, each one carved from a single block of stone, so ancient I can still feel the deep time sleeping inside it. They are not merely decoration. These are the 4 truths on which every lasting union stands: trust, communication, respect, and intimacy. Remove one, and the others will strain under the weight until the whole structure falls. The first pillar, trust. The first pillar is smooth and unbroken, a surface polished to a soft gleam by the countless hands that have leaned against it for strength. At its base coils the first guardian, a great serpent with eyes the color of molten gold. It watches without blinking, its body wound tight around the stone, head raised as though it has been waiting for you all your life. This guardian speaks not in threats, but in questions, simple ones at first. Will you keep your word when no one is watching? Will you remain when the fire turns to ash? When the shadow whispers, will you listen? I have seen many falter here, for trust is not the absence of fear or doubt. It is the choice to build despite them. In the days of the ancients, there was a union so bright it drew the envy of kings. 2 stood together before the pillar, and the serpent let them pass. But as seasons turned, one began to hide small truths, not out of malice, but out of fear. At first, it was only the unspoken thought, the withheld word. But trust is like the root of a tree. Once cut, the whole trunk weakens. By the time the serpent called them back, their temple had already begun to crack. For those who walk alone, build trust with yourself first. Keep the promises you make to your own soul. Rise when you say you will rise. Speak truth even in your own mind. For those who walk with another, remember that trust is not a thing earned once and kept forever. It is the daily laying of stones, the constant tending of the foundation. The second pillar, communication. The second pillar is different. Its surface edged with countless lines, each a story told, each a truth shared. At its summit perches a bird with feathers of silver and onyx, its eyes keen and knowing. It listens more than it speaks, but when it opens its beak, it will repeat your words back to you, not in the tone you intended, but in the way they were received. In the great V, there's the tale of 2 travelers who built a house together in the wilderness. One spoke often, the other rarely. Yet they both believed they understood one another. But when the rains came and the roof began to sag, each thought the other knew how to fix it. Neither spoke. The roof fell not because they lacked the will to save it, but because they lacked the words. Communication is more than speaking. It is being willing to hear without sharpening your reply before the other has finished. It is asking for clarity when the meaning is uncertain, rather than assuming and building walls from shadows. For singles, practice honesty in your daily interactions, even in small matters. For couples, Set aside space to speak without agenda, to listen without defense. The bird will know if your words are weapons or bridges, and the temple will rise or fall on that knowledge. The third pillar, respect. The third pillar gleams as though it has been polished by the touch of 1,000 hands. A lion rests at its base, eyes half closed, the weight of his presence enough to silence the careless. The lion does not roar at every insult, but when true contempt crosses your heart, it will rise to its feet. I recall the union of a ruler and a healer, joined not for politics, but for a love fierce enough to unite warring lands. Yet over time, the ruler began to see the healer as merely a part of his court, not as the equal partner who once stood beside him. The lion at the pillar stirred, sensing the slow erosion. When the final insult came, a public dismissal of the healer's voice, the pillar cracked from base to crown. The temple fell in silence. Respect is not merely politeness, it is the active guarding of another's dignity. For those alone, respect yourself enough to set boundaries and keep them. For those together, speak of your partner in their absence as you would in their presence. The lion will know the truth of your heart before you take your next step. The fourth pillar, intimacy. The final pillar glows faintly, as though lit from within. Beside it stands a hooded figure holding a lamp, his flame steady and warm. This guardian does not speak, but his light grows brighter or dimmer with the honesty you bring. In the ancient scrolls of the great V, there is the story of two who walked together for years, sharing meals, a home, and even dreams, yet never daring to reveal the full truth of their fears. They mistook proximity for intimacy, thinking the mere closeness of bodies would keep them connected. But when hardship came, they found themselves strangers. The lamp dimmed until it was nothing but smoke. Intimacy is not simply knowing another's body. It is knowing their soul and letting them know yours. It is the courage to be seen without armor, to share not just your victories, but your wounds. For singers, be intimate with your own soul first. Know your needs, your joys, your vulnerabilities. For couples, make space for moments where nothing is required but presence, where your guard can fall without fear. The passage. When you have faced each guardian and proven the pillars are sound, the doors of the temple of union will open. But do not think this is the end. Passing the pillars is not a one-time triumph. It is a commitment to tending them every day in calm and in storm. Those who ignore this truth will find themselves summoned back to the gates, the guardians waiting, the pillars in need of repair, and not all are willing to do the work a second time. Practical reflections for today. For singles, choose one pillar to build within yourself this week. Keep a daily record of small ways you strengthen it. For couples, meet together to name which pillar is strongest in your relationship and which is most in need of repair. Make one joint action to address it this week for all. Remember, a temple takes years to build, but can fall in a single day if neglected. The great doors swing open with a sound like the settling of mountains. Beyond lies a canyon where voices echo in strange ways, sometimes returning softer, kinder, sometimes sharper, more wounding. The path leads there now, into the place where words themselves can heal or destroy. The sacred echo waits